the world where everyone cries alone. You okay? It's the question we all ask, and rarely answer honestly. I live in a world where people cry in silence, not because they want to, but because they believe no one would understand. And maybe they're right. It started on a cold November morning. I was on the subway, heading to my shift at the bookstore. The train was packed, the kind of packed where you can feel a stranger's breath on your neck. Yet somehow, I had never felt more alone. Across from me was a woman in her mid-30s, her makeup perfect, heels kicking against the floor as she adjusted her coat. She looked powerful, successful, but then I noticed her thumb tapping anxiously against her bag. Her eyes, though still, were heavy with something. Grief? Exhaustion? I wasn't sure, but I knew that look. I'd seen it in the mirror. She wasn't crying, but she was breaking. That's when it hit me. We've all become experts at hiding pain. That day passed like any other. I sold a few books, smiled at customers, laughed at bad jokes. No one saw the panic attack I had in the staff bathroom between shifts. No one asked why I had been zoning out in the middle of a conversation. Because in this world, everyone assumes you're fine, until you collapse. A few months ago, I lost my brother. He was the kind of guy who'd light up a room just by walking in. Laughter followed him like a loyal shadow. Everyone loved him, but he was hurting in places no one could see. One night, he didn't come home. The next morning, we found a note. "I'm tired of pretending," it said. "I'm tired of smiling through the storms." I never hated the world as much as I did that day. I kept thinking, how could we not see it? But then I realized something far darker. We did see it. We just didn't know what to do. We hoped he'd be okay. We trusted the mask he wore. And maybe, deep down, we were too busy wearing our own. That loss changed everything. I began noticing the sadness in others. The forced smiles, the empty stares, the laughter that ends too quickly. We walk through life brushing shoulders with people who are quietly falling apart. The guy who brings you coffee, his mum's in the hospital. The girl who aces every test, she cries herself to sleep from the pressure. Your friend who cracks the best jokes, he's terrified of being alone. And you'll never know, because we live in a world where everyone cries alone. Just because we cry alone doesn't mean we have to stay that way. One evening, I was walking home from work, rain soaking my hoodie, when I saw a boy sitting on a bench, hugging his backpack. He couldn't have been more than 10. His face was scrunched up, like he was trying not to cry. Something inside me broke open. I sat beside him, said nothing, just sat there. After a few minutes, he whispered, "My dad forgot to pick me up again." I didn't give him advice. I didn't say, "It'll be okay." I just listened. And in that moment, I realized, sometimes the most we can do is simply show up. We can't fix people, but we can sit with them in their sadness. We can be a witness to their pain. Because maybe what we're all really asking is, can someone see me before I disappear? A few weeks later, I started doing something simple. Every time I saw someone looking down, lost or heavy, I smiled at them. Not the kind of forced, polite smile, but a real one. One that says, "I see you." Sometimes they smiled back. Sometimes they looked confused. But sometimes their eyes welled up. Because in a world where we cry alone, even the smallest kindness can be a lifeline. We're so afraid of getting it wrong that we end up saying nothing. But silence is dangerous. Silence convinces people that no one cares. So I began asking real questions. Instead of "How are you?" I'd say, "How's your heart today?" Or, "What's been heavy on your mind lately?" And when someone asked me, I started telling the truth. My circle slowly changed. My friendships became rawer, deeper. We stopped pretending. We started calling each other just to say, "Hey, I was thinking about you." I began therapy, not because I was broken, but because I was tired of carrying everything alone. And I started writing. Journals, letters, stories. It helped me understand that pain, when expressed, loses its power to consume. And in time, I realized something. Even though we cry alone, we're all connected by those invisible threads of struggle. We all have scars, some fresh, some old. We all have chapters we don't read out loud. But behind every mask is a story, and behind every strong face is a soul quietly asking, will someone stay, even if I'm not okay? The answer should be yes, not out of pity, not out of obligation, but because that's what love looks like. Not fixing, not judging, just staying. If you're reading this right now and you're hurting, please know, you're not weak, you're not too much, you're not invisible. Your emotions are not a burden. Your silence is not your destiny. You don't have to carry everything alone. Speak, cry, reach out. And if you can't, then read this as a reminder. You are worthy of love, even on the days you can't feel it. It starts small. Tell someone how you really feel. Ask your friend how they really are. Hug someone a little tighter. Be the person who notices. Because when we start showing up for each other in the raw, messy middle of life, the world changes. We don't need a world where no one cries. We need a world where no one has to cry alone. If this story moved you, made you reflect, or reminded you of someone you care about, don't let it end here. Our YouTube channel, Still Human, exists for this very reason. To bring real stories, raw emotions, and genuine human connection to light. Because no matter how far apart we feel, stories remind us that we're still in this together. Subscribe to Still Human for more stories that speak to your soul. Let's build a world where no one has to hide behind silence ever again.